back with Austin Ekeler of the Los Angeles Chargers. And Austin, I think one of the things that I have gotten into reporting in the last 3 or 4 years is more and more teams and more players are believing now in the science of sleep when it comes to performance. So obviously you're representing Sleep Number, and I'd just like to hear your thoughts on how your attitude towards sleep has evolved as you've gotten going in your career, and how is it different than when you were, say, a college kid?
Right. Yeah, there's quite the difference between that. But yes, I am partnered with Sleep Number today because I do love my Sleep Number bed. And so I'm glad to be representing them today. But my sleep from college to now, back in college, I didn't really worry about a routine. It was just kind of, you just sleep when you can, when you have time, just because of class and football basically consumed my entire life. But now, after being in the NFL and, getting a routine and learning how to become a pro, the impact of sleep on your just day has shown me that it can make or break if you having a good day or a bad day. And I say that because I'm a big advocate of health and working out. And so when you're working out and your body breaks down, you're tired, you're stressed, all these things that the NFL presents you, you need time to just rest. And so when you get a good night's sleep, you can wake up, you feel energized. And, with Sleep Number, they have the smart bed, so it adjusts to your body. So I do get amazing sleep, and you can track your sleep with scores. Actually, one of the coolest features I thought with the Sleep Number was it tells you your heart rate. And like, if you're having a dream, you can see like a spike in your heart rate and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But, no, my sleep has become more routine and more just actually part of my recovery, more so than it used to be like food. Like back in college, it was like, oh, just eat food and your sleep. Yeah, whatever. It's not really talked about as a recovery. But as I've gotten older, talked to more professionals, it's like sleep is more important, I would say, than you're keeping a clean diet, just because you need to be able to wake up in the day, in the morning, and be able to, okay, I'm awake, I'm alert, I can go forward throughout the day and continue to, try to better yourself.
Do you truly feel the difference in your performance from one day to the next if one night, for whatever reason, you might only get 5 hours of sleep, let's say?
Right. And I would say it's more prevalent during the week, during practice, because I make sure I always get a good night's sleep before the game. If you don't get the best night of sleep before practice and I have to wake up, at 6 a.m. to go do workouts in the morning, I will be a zombie. I'll just be dragging, just coming in to do my workout. I need my guys to hype me up a little bit. When I get a good night's rest, I feel like I'm that energy guy and I'm bringing up everybody. And that's the majority of the time. And just, I'm really excited to go work out. But yeah, you definitely can tell the difference between, a good night's sleep and not.
You did a really cool thing partnering with Sleep Number in giving beds to healthcare workers this year. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously there's a pandemic going on and healthcare workers have been overworked and just overloaded with a lot of different responsibilities. And, the NFL and the Chargers are sending healthcare workers to the Super Bowl and providing the 360 smart beds as well. And I mentioned I love my Sleep Number, so I know they're going to love theirs as well. And it's much deserved. And, it's not just football players that are grinding. It's, it's America, and especially healthcare workers during this time. And so for them to get a good night's rest and be alert and ready to go every single day is going to be huge for them. I know they're going to enjoy it.
How different was the 2020 season for you in basically being isolated, learning how to learn in Zoom calls? I mean, basically you must feel like every high school kid in the United States, the vast majority of them now, and even all students, the vast majority of them are learning on Zoom. How was it for you?
I'm just going to come out and say I'm not a Zoom learner. I have a hard time sitting there on Zoom and trying to actually learn for hours. Because our meetings aren't just like a 20-minute meeting. It's like, all right, we got an hour here, we got 30 minutes here. It's just extensive time sitting there. And so it's to keep your alert and just retain everything and not just like trying to fall off. I hated it. And so as many in-person meetings, social distance as we could, I was trying to do it, but definitely had to learn how to adjust. So I understand what the kids and teachers are going through when they're going through Zooms, and I know it's not ideal for everyone. So hopefully we can start turning it around in a couple of years.
How much mental energy did you have to use in 2020 that in a normal year you wouldn't have had to use?
Yeah, I would say it was more energy, but it was just different, right? So you had to adjust. Just because we weren't going, your routine was different every day. It's because, okay, someone had COVID today. Now we shut down the entire building to clean it. So what you thought you were going to do, now you're doing this. And it was just little stuff like that continued to pop up. And then we had social justice going on too. And so there was all these different things that were just happening at the same time. And so it was kind of like the normal to have unexpected things kind of pop up. And so we were just, basically, it taught us just to, hey, okay, continue to push forward. We know why we're here. We're trying to play football. We're going to do that to our best ability. If things pop up, we'll adjust, we'll deal with them, and then we'll get back to, our job.
I want to ask you two things about 2020 and then one going forward. I thought one of the strangest things that happened all season in pro football was that at the start of the second game of your season, Justin Herbert trotted out and got into the huddle. And I asked him at one point, like later in the year, how weird was that? You don't plan to play the whole week or whatever. It's not like the quarterback got hurt suddenly and you have to run out there. It's this weird, bizarre injury before the game. And now you go out and he goes, and I forget who it was. It might have been Hunter Henry. Looked at him and said, "What are you doing here, dude?" Because it would. So tell me about that moment when Justin Herbert walked onto the field to play for the Los Angeles Chargers.
That is something Hunter would say for sure. But yeah, it was bizarre because I was on the sideline and the team doctor was like looking at Tyrod and he was kind of giving like the he's out signal, and I was like, what the heck? And then so we get the ball first, and so we start jogging out in the field, and here comes Herbert, and I'm just like, what? Like everyone in the huddle was like looking around, like what happened? Like no one had any idea until after the game, like what happened. And so we're just like, what's going on? And then Tyrod just kept quiet just so we didn't have any distractions. And then Justin went out there, and we're like, all right, well I guess we're rolling with the young guy. We'll see what he's got. Kind of just rolling the dice, but he ended up having a solid game for his first game ever, I would say, and not preparing to actually play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then basically
is that actually true that most of you guys didn't know exactly what happened until after the game?
We had no idea. Even then, I think it was probably even a couple of weeks before it actually came out not came out, but for Tyrod to even talk about it. Obviously it was a sensitive topic, but yeah, it was just bizarre. I've never heard of that incident.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we're probably assuming that everybody knows that Tyrod Taylor was getting a painkiller before the game, which is not uncommon, and the needle accidentally punctured his lung, and so
Right.
he couldn't play. And he couldn't play for a little while. And by the time he could play again, Justin Herbert was like a national sensation. And he was like, candidate for Rookie of the Year. And I'm sure he's going to win Rookie of the Year. But I mean, it was just one of the odd things. And I really wondered, how much you guys knew. And I guess you really didn't know.
We had no idea. We were like, why is Justin Herbert in the game?
Yeah.
And we didn't know until after the game. It's like, oh, wow. And then he basically forced his way in there and then broke all the records.
Yeah. So, this because you basically made your mark as a rookie from a guy who was the longest of long shots. And you just kept forcing yourself into the lineup, basically. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder, when you watched Herbert for maybe some of the struggles that he had in training camp, I thought Hard Knocks did a really good job of kind of painting some of the struggles that he had with Pep Hamilton, the quarterback coach, and with everybody, Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator. It was a really raw look at how difficult rookie training camp is for a young quarterback. Right. So why did Justin Herbert adjust so quickly and play so well so early?
Ooh, there's a lot of different factors that play into that. I think one is just obviously he has to be dedicated to it, but just how smart he is. Like, he's a smart kid. That goes back to Oregon where he had like a 4.0. Just in general, that's not even football smart. Yeah. That's just, smart in general. But then, his athletic ability, his ability to throw the ball, his ability to move, then the decision-making, which I feel like is the most important part as far as playing quarterback, because you can be a pocket passer, you can be a guy that's more agile, but it comes down to the decisions you make and can you actually put the ball in the position you want to be and read a defense. And so I think that's where he excelled is just understanding how football works. He just grew so quickly as far as being able to run the offense. I know, early on our coordinators and Pep tried to make it easier on him, just giving him more simple calls. But he picked it up easily, and then we were able to actually just run our entire offense by the end of the year. And, I was obviously injured with my hamstring last year for 7 weeks, but when I first got there, he was like, okay, this guy's a rookie. But when I came back, it was like, all right, Herbert, I see, like, he's got some confidence, got a little pep in his step. He's out there, barking around, and just like, okay, this kid, he's getting comfortable. So I like that because now he can just focus on his game and he's not nervous anymore. He's just out there playing ball.
Have you met or chatted with your new coach yet, Brandon Staley?
Yeah, Coach Staley called me actually. It was kind of unexpected. Well, it was definitely unexpected. I had a random number call me and I answered him, just like, who the heck? And he's like, hey, it's Coach Staley. I was like, yeah. He goes, what's up, Coach? It was like 2 days after he got hired, and so that was big. I really appreciate him reaching out, and he kind of was just giving me hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm about. We didn't really talk about football, and so I love that, just that relationship, trying to make that connection, because I just think you can care more and want to play for a guy if he shows you who he is and his passion, not just on football but just in life.
It's going to be the first time in the career of Austin Ekeler that you play for a coach who looks younger than you.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Okay. Listen, I want to end with this because I think people who don't know basically who you are and about your career, I mean, I think it's the coolest thing that here you are, even though you're not in the Super Bowl, that you're representing a big American company, Sleep Number, a well-admired company, right. And that they look at you and say, we want Austin Ekeler to represent us. It's a little bit, you've kind of come a long way in 3 years because in your first training camp, I remember that, Anthony Lynn, the coach of the Chargers, was basically, he really didn't know who you were. And you were wearing number 3, which, for those who know, who have even an elementary knowledge of football, running backs in the NFL do not wear number 3.
We can't. We actually can't. It's against the rules.
Yeah. But I want to hear the story that you told me this, I don't know, a year or so ago, about how you got Anthony Lynn to notice you.
Yeah, so long story short, it was OTAs, and OTAs were wrapping up, and we were about to go home for a month and a half before training camp. And I went up to Anthony Lynn's office, and I was so nervous. I remember just sweating. I remember just trying to talk to this man. I was just so nervous because I'd never talked to him before. And I just jumbled out, told him I love his coaching style or something like that. But the real reason I was there was I asked him, what do I need to do to make this team? And he didn't even know who I was. He obviously knew I was a player. But he told me, he's like, go see Coach Stu, protect the quarterback and don't fumble. And so basically I got more out of that.
Coach
question.
Stewart's the special teams coach.
Yeah, Coach Stewart, yeah, my special teams coach. And so that didn't really resonate with him that I went up there and did that until training, like after I made the team. He's like, this kid came up and asked me like what I need to do to make the team. So that kind of showed like I was going on a limb, like I was doing everything I could to make the team. And that's kind of been, my progression to get to this point. I've just been doing everything I can to make an impact on the team and then also in the community. And now helping Sleep Number represent, some beds that are going to be donated to some healthcare workers going down to the Super Bowl.
Austin Ekeler, a pleasure talking to you. Really enjoyed getting to know you over the last few years, and hopefully you will be back in very good health this year. And I believe that you will be in very good health because you will be well rested, won't you?
That is 100% correct. Thank you, Peter.
All the best to you.
I appreciate you, man.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.